My name's Andy and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet, 14th of April 2007. Hi guys, apologies for not here last Sunday. I had a bit of something else going on last minute, so I do apologise for not being around last Sunday. I've had a good couple of weeks. Been very busy with work and things like that. It's been very busy last couple of weeks. My running's really kicking in now, so I'm keeping a lot fitter, quite healthy at the minute. I've just about to sign up for the called Derby Half Marathon in June. I'm running for Sense, a charity in the UK for deafblind and to help deafblind people, and rubella as well and things like that. So I will be running for that charity. So if you want to go on the Just Giving page, feel free to donate or just share my page. It's on Twitter at Barrowmad79. I am running in a unicorn themed outfit, as I tend to run fancy dress once a year at my local half marathon, so hopefully I'll run alright. It's usually red hot as well, so I'll be sweating buckets, and you'll see some daft pictures of me anyway. There is plenty of daft pictures of me on the internet as well, so yeah. How you doing, mate? How you doing, Jaffa? Hope you're doing alright, buddy? All good? Yeah, I'm fine. Absolutely fine. Looking forward to the week ahead. Gonna be another busy week at work. I would like to say I'm going to do a lot more running again this week as well. I did a nice little radio interview for Voice of Islam radio on Friday. Basically talking about my story and my recovery, really. So it was quite nice to just talk just about that and not talking about any other issues of the day with regards to gambling addiction and things like that. Nice, and it's a good little bit of therapy for me as well. So I really enjoyed it. Really did enjoy it. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the week ahead. Plenty of running, plenty of work. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get to any GA meetings this week, like last week, due to work. But I'm sound-minded. I'm all right. I'm in good nick. I've got people to talk to if I need to. I've got my literature just in case I want to read it and things like that. So I'm happy. Looking forward to Friday, seeing as Derby have just got into the playoffs for the chance to get into the Premier League. We are where we are. Fulham are a lot better than us, but we'll give it a go, and hope Derby don't do a Derby as they usually do. If anybody's got any questions, or feel free to get on the comments and ask away. Feel free, because I think you get just as much out of talking to other people as you are just listening to me and rambling on half the time. So please feel free to get involved and talk to others. There is plenty of people there to talk to most of the time, and it's great to try and keep doing these live vlogs. I will be starting from time to time again, doing them the old way, like in a midweek or something, just probably once every 3 or 4 weeks, just to share, like sharing a GA meeting, so to speak. I think that helps me as well, so don't be surprised if you see some vlogs which are not live, but I will continue to endeavour to do this every Sunday without fail. So I hope you can ask some questions. Feel free to challenge me if you think I'm right or wrong in what I do, or how my recovery is and things like that. That'll be great. We're off to a bit of a quiet start tonight, but I will be hanging around for about half an hour or so on here. I hope it picks up, really. As I say, with regards to my recovery, GA helped me it's influenced me a lot, really, in the way I have recovered. It helped me being there. Hi, Luzerican, I hope you're okay. If you've got anything to ask, feel free to ask away. As in with the GA, everyone's there the same. Everyone's struggling, or everyone's in recovery. They've all got one common desire to stop their own gambling. And it helped me no end, and I still go to the GA meetings to this day. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is what it is. I love it. I do. I'm not really a steps person, so to speak. I know a lot of people get at the 12 steps and go through them religiously and have a sponsor and things like that. It wasn't really how I do my recovery. I just like getting involved, talking to other people, and I firmly believe the meetings make it. It's nice just to sit down with other compulsive gamblers and get stuff off your chest for that couple of hours a week or couple of meetings a week if you need it. It's like your medicine, really. Getting a dose of medicine each week and then fighting through a day at a time, then getting to your next meeting, getting to your next meeting, getting to your next meeting, filling your life in between with other things instead of gambling. I'm not saying it's easy, but you can recover. Um, First of all, well done for stopping for a whole year. I know it's hard, but you can get back, Luz Rugen. Have you? Yeah, I think you should. Like I say, have you looked for any other help at all? Have you been anywhere for help or anything like that? Yeah, I probably do the steps, Jaffa, without realising, but I know a lot of people who sit down and get on with it and get on with doing them basically, and they do this religiously, if you know what I mean. I know people sit down with them, and I know some people who don't, but it's how you recover end of the day. It's how you want to. Hi SMB, hope you're well. Feel free to ask away anything you want to like. That'd be great. Like I say, I do need challenging. I do need challenging half the time. Is there anyone? Is there ever someone that you can't help? End of the day, I always say I can always give out my advice and my story, and hopefully I can like make people have the desire to stop. But end of the day, it has to come down to the one person, and that is yourself. We can put as many barriers in place, listen to as much advice as you can get from everybody else. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but you have to take it. You have to want to stop. You have to has to come down to you at the end of the day. We can put as many barriers, as many things away in the way of gambling as we can. It's about not wanting to return there. You know, like I say, you've had 1 year off, and that's an amazing thing. People have slips. You are not alone. Uh, it's like I say, everyone's got different ways of gambling and stuff like that. Hi Darren, hope you're well. Yeah, everyone's got different forms of gambling. Mine was mainly online poker. I did have horse racing when I started and things like that. I know people who do fixed odds betting terminals religiously. I know people who do all sorts of fruit machines, poker. I know a lot of people who do football accumulators and struggled with that. A gamble is a gamble at the end of the day, irrespective of what it's on. Um, have you ever tried self exclusion at all? Because it can work, but I'm not. Nothing is ever foolproof with regards to barriers. I mean, I talk and people might think I talk a good game. So be it. But end of the day, it has to keep going and all that lot, and you have to do it for yourself. Hi Scott, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, uh, yeah, it is it is a terrible thing. I mean, it's like I say, fruit machines. I hit the fruit machines now and again as well. I mean, my mates would tell me when I used to go out on Saturday night, I used to think you got a pint of beer with 20 quid, and then that's how much your pint costs you really, because you put the rest in the fruit machine. So thanks for telling me they're inspiring. I hope you can stop, Scott, as well. I do believe you're on Twitter. I think I've seen some of the stuff you do on Twitter. So I hope to talk to you more often, mate, and you can feel free to private message me anytime you want, Scott. More than happy. Hi, Darren. Yeah, you go to your first meeting. That is brilliant. You're not gambled for 2 weeks. That is amazing, mate. That is amazing. I know it's hard struggle, mate, out there, but you can do it. Well done. Try and be that Lose Roken. Try and be that person, not to be lured back anymore. Yeah. Do you want to feel like that person you used to laugh at? Hey, you can self-exclude. Try and get to meetings. Do you ever go to GA meetings at all? Yeah, I've run loads of £20 pints, Scott. Yeah. So I could totally relate to that. Hi, Shamil. Hope you're well, Muddy. Nice to hear from you. How you keeping? Hope you're keeping well, mate. Nice to hear from you again. Not heard from you for a couple of weeks. Obviously, I didn't do my thing last Sunday, but I'm endeavouring to carry on every Sunday, obviously. Like I said earlier, I will be doing probably 1 or 2 vlogs where I just do them to myself, like I used to originally, where I started all off this vlogging from. So, yeah, doing good, mate. Doing good. I'm glad I'm doing well. Yeah, that's right, Jaffa. Completely agree. Completely agree what you're saying there, mate. Completely. Try and get the help. Oh, well done. 127 days. Brilliant, SMB. Yeah, I know people from I know people who've gone through the GAMP care counselling and really enjoyed it. There's others called Break Even as well. So, as I say, is Break Even. There is Gordon Moody, but that's quite difficult to get in. But there is Gamblers Anonymous, and there's plenty of meetings all over the country in the UK and stuff like that. Really, RPJ. Yeah, I don't agree. Gambling ads should be on after 9 p.m. Really, for me, and not on live sporting events apart from horse racing. I did miss a question somewhere. As you say, Scott, yeah, correct, mate. I mean, if you see it on paper, I'm same as you. I looked at it on paper and it was horror. It was like frightening. It's eye watering, isn't it? It is absolutely eye watering. Yeah, totally agree with that. If you know what I mean. Sometimes it's good to have a visual aid, a visual barrier, and that could be it really as well. Like it helps you stop and helps you take stock of what you've done. That's good as well. Yeah, SMB as SMB 87 says, you can now also use GamStop. It's a site where you enter your details once. Many casinos are signed up to that now as well. So if casinos was your thing as well, that there's another option. There's plenty of places where you can get help and plenty of places where you can stop yourself from gambling. There is no easy way out, unfortunately. You've got to do it for yourself. I just think with GA, do you ever feel obsessive towards GA like the same way you were obsessed with gambling? Um, it helped me. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm obsessive. I just know that's where my recovery is. Mainly, it revolves around, if you know what I mean. That's where I've had the most encouragement and advice from. Really, it's helped me change the person really as well. So that's great. As you say, Scott, oh, it's only fine. Then you see all those £5 deposits day after day after day. Yeah, agree. Totally agree. It just builds up, builds up, builds up. I mean, I remember my statements and stuff yonks ago. So you're obsessed with GA, Jaff. Hey, it can't be a bad thing, no, can it? Can't be a bad thing at all. I'll always defend GA. I mean, I know it gets a lot of slack, gets a lot of stick sometimes, but so all good. Like I say, if there's any more questions, feel free to ask away, and feel free to carry on talking amongst yourselves as well, which is great stuff as well. I'll try and answer anything the best I can. Sometimes, like I say, I need challenging for what I believe in and why I think recovery works and stuff like that. Why I think certain things don't work as well. But I'm very recovery based. Um, you've got to think what happens after when you stop and things like that. Hi, Steve. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to hear from you again. You've got to understand it has to come down from you. Like I say, there is some fantastic help out there. You just got to reach out for it and things like that. And it'll be great. I'd love to see. Oh, thank you, SMB. Really appreciate that. I'm guessing you've got to travel quite far away for meetings and things, so to speak. You can set them up yourself, as well, if you ever fancied doing it. I mean, it's 2 meetings in Derby. When I first started, there was only 1 meeting. And a great chap called, I can't really say his name because obviously it's anonymous and stuff like that. And he set up the Thursday meeting in Derby, and he was sat on his own pretty much for the first 2 or 3 months. But we persisted, and now we've got a good crew, a good Danny. Please go away, mate. If you're gonna be silly, just go, mate. Thank you. Um, you can set up if you want SMB. even if you just support group, don't have to be GA. Just why don't you try it out? You never know. It might be others as well. Like I say, I'm always here on vlog, and you can always talk to me live through here as well. What started my gambling? I was playing horse racing a lot. Well, I was doing horse racing when I was a kid because my dad liked to gamble on horses and still does, and my granddad did, so kind of a natural thing, really. Uh, Betting on Grand National mainly meetings and stuff like that, and that's how that's how I really did it, if you know what I mean. I just carried on from there. Is when I moved out and got online when I got online, Scott, mainly, and that's what basically did for me. I had more time on my hands, and time's the biggest killer for I think for most people. Obviously, access to money helps fund it and feed it that addiction as well. Uh, what's people's biggest loss? And when it was four figures of one, but I lost over 60 grand in 2 years. As Jaffa says, I couldn't cope, and that's why I chose to stop. Exactly the same thing as well as what Jaffa says there, Luzrukin. Um, like I say, with recovery is the greatest thing ever for me. I mean, yeah, I've still got debt to this day, but I'm paying it back, and within a couple of years, I hopefully should be debt free. But the money always looks after itself. Day after day, the longer you go, and you can actually get away from it, if you know what I mean. It only goes one way. The debt goes lower and lower and lower if you stay away from gambling. It's simple as that, really. It's not going to get any higher. Yeah, it might think it's an eternity and all that lot to get rid of it, but it does. Yeah, I mean, it's how quick you want to gamble, Scott, as well. It's 24/7 now. I mean, I think it's just with the access of it just being there all of a sudden, and that's the problem, I think, really, as well. I mean, it's dangerous in a way. You could do it in your home and do a grand in your house within what, a few minutes, just like that, if you know what I mean, just on like playing online casino games and stuff like that. uh it's very anonymised, if you know what I mean. I mean, people told me, oh yeah, but it's a paper trail, you'll get found out eventually, but people are doing it without realizing it, if you know what I mean. um all good. So what I'm trying to say is recovery is the best thing. I mean, I've got a roof over my head, I've got a nice job, I've got a wife, 3 kids, love very much. I'm just trying to live life, if you know what I mean. Yeah, as you say, Darren, meetings are great and very welcoming as well. With GA, like you say, everyone's in there is in the same boat. They all want to try and help each other, if you know what I mean. It is great. It is really great. It's quite inspirational stories in there. I'm still inspired to this day. I still read things. I still look at things on Twitter and over there and stuff like that. And yeah, I can relate to that, Jaffa. Like being accountable at a meeting. I know people who like think they've let down someone when they have a slip. I don't see that at all. I think it's courageous that you come in and you can be honest in a meeting and stuff like that. Because people do slip. It is what it is. It's addiction. You want to gamble all the time, and if the time, money, and opportunity comes together, you will get to. Hi, Chris. I hope you're well, mate. Exactly. We need to take responsibility for our own actions. We do. Simple as. Don't get me wrong. There's so much the industry could do. There's so much more positive things we could do with regards to addiction, like barriers and things like that. And but it has to come down to the one person who wants to stop and wants to stop gambling, and that is yourself. I can't stress that enough. If you know what I mean. Otherwise, you're just going to go around in a circle, a vicious circle of gambling, going back, stopping, going back, stopping, going back, stopping. You've got to take stock and think, right, I need to change my life here. I really need to stop. I need to go and reach out and get that help. And I hope like I say, with me doing these vlogs, and that's the reason why I do my vlogs. I hope it inspires you to stop. I'm not anti-gambling. There's millions and millions of people who do gamble responsibly, and they, they do. They gamble within the means. They gamble for fun, and they enjoy it. I know I'm powerless over gambling. I can never go back. If I went back, I'll just end up in the spiral again, and then end up with lying and cheating and thieving again. And I never ever want to do that ever again. It is everywhere now, Darren. It is normalised in the UK. The day the National Lottery came in 1995 was the day gambling got normalised. And we live in 24/7 society now, not just on gambling, just everything else. Everyone wants everything yesterday, so to speak. So everyone's appealing to like quick gambling, instant, as Scott's alluded to, feeding a machine without money and money and money, looking for an instant win, an instant buck, instead of like say waiting for like a horse race for 10-15 minutes. Everyone wants everything yesterday, and it lines up to greed as well eventually as well. Because you get that big win, but you want bigger, then you want bigger, but your stakes never go down. They seem to stay at the same level, and then that's where you get into trouble, really, because you're just greedy, and you want you want more and more and more and more, and that's probably the worst thing that could happen to a compulsive gambler. If you're winning, you have to pay it off. Hi, David. 20k from 300 playing roulette and lost it all on the same night. Exact. Oh. Won 20k from 300 playing roulette and lost it all on the same night. I feel for you, David. Have you had got any help at all? If you're struggling, I used to love thinking I was setting limits, Chris. Really did thinking, oh yeah, but oh yeah, just another 200, just another couple of hundred, and it just went, and went. As you say, with David, that's a. I can relate to that. I mean, not to that amount of money, but you have that one big win, and you just chase it more and more and more and more. If you know what I mean. That's. I hope you're okay, David. Is Have you actually gone for any help at all? Okay. Uh, do you think you can ever stop fully? Oh, I mean, because it always leaves the line door open, even if you're having a £10 accumulator and stuff like that. It's like when people ask me about other ways, like they're doing like the Super Six and things, and doing raffles. For me, it's leaving the door open all the time. Um, you think back, if you do that £10 accumulator and you get a big win, what are you gonna do? What do you think you're gonna do with it? That's all I'm thinking for you. I mean, you're reaching out to a person here who's a gambling addict. You're watching a video on here. I'm just thinking, the shame of putting hundreds into the machine puts me off. Okay. Do you think you'll be able to stop fully, David? Because, like you say, you're kind of reaching out to somebody here. Uh, Hi, Darren. Thanks. Really, really, thank you. Really humbling for you to say that I do positive things. I really appreciate that. Okay, with trying then, do you think you can stop the accumulators by the time, but soon? Do you think you could? Do you think you could stop gambling altogether, one day at a time? Because I never thought I could stop at all, especially when I first started. Like, there's no way I can go longer than 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 days without a bet, 3 or 4 weeks without a bet. I'm over 11 years clean now, and I still have to pinch myself to this day that I've done what I've done, so to speak. So, have you gone out to look for any, like you say, you've not bet in 2 weeks, that's fabulous. Um, is there any real need for you to put an accumulator on now and again? Have you really missed it that much? I'm being, honestly, if you know what I mean. Agreed, SMB. I was scared as well when I first started. I never thought I could do it. It's at the start. It's really, really difficult, so to speak. really hard to do. Really is a hard thing. Boredom. Yeah, I get the boredom. That's, you know, the majority of people who contact me through Twitter and through the vlogs is they are bored. They're bored. It's the time killer for me. Like I say, time, money, and opportunity. All them three come together, you're going to gamble. Money and opportunity, you can take that away from yourself. It's the time gambling that kills it, and boredom is a massive thing. Is there anything else that you could do at a weekend, perhaps? Instead of being, if you're feeling bored, what is there anything else you could possibly do? I mean, I took up running and getting fit and things like that, really. But hopefully you can stop. I mean, like you say, you're reaching out. Have you ever tried any meetings like GA meetings? Obviously, you've done the GamStop thing, which is great. And you're talking to someone who's a compulsive gambler and other people in the comments as well. Might inspire you to stop fully. And believe me, at the end of the day, that debt's only going to carry on going down, mate, when you're not gambling. That's all I'm believing. I'm going to give it another 4 or 5 minutes, and hopefully some more people might join us. Thank you, David. Really appreciate that you love the channel. I do it so I can hopefully inspire others to stop gambling, really. If they've got a problem, if they're struggling, or anybody knows who's got a problem, feel free to send them my way. I'm on Twitter at Baronmad79. There is a group on Discord. It is a bit quiet at the minute, but if you go to Sunday Soiree and sign up on Discord app, there is a gambling help group in there, and that's quite good as well. It is still quite relatively new, so it is a bit slow at the minute, but it will pick up. Nice, Jaffa, nice one. Good stuff. I might set them up every day now, Jaffa, just to piss you off. But yeah, obviously I'll be doing this every Sunday at 9 p.m. I will tell people when I'm not going to be available. Obviously it's going to be one in August when I'm in New York, and I'm not planning to do one in New York in August. I do apologise, but every Sunday, barring that in a minute, is looking good. I think next bank holiday on the Sunday, next bank holiday in May, I'll be struggling to do one as well because I am out with a few friends. So I might set that one up earlier, do like a 3 o'clock one or something like that. I think that'll be the 27th or 28th of May. I can't remember what day it is, but I will do one on that Sunday, but it'll probably be earlier than 9 o'clock. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, great stuff. Oh, brilliant, Jaffa. You met someone in Portugal as well. That's fantastic. Fantastic. I hope you had a good little mini meeting and talked through anything you needed to talk to. That is fantastic, mate. That is brilliant. God, I need a haircut. Yeah. Yeah, I will be doing that, Chris, I think. I only do it at this time on a Sunday just to, like, if there's anyone from, like, America and that, like, watching and things like that. So I try to knock them, I think of a 5 hour, 6, 7, 8 hours they need to catch up, because it's going to be, like, 4 o'clock afternoon there. So I'll probably do, like, a 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon one that Sunday. So people will be up. As you say, SMB, I think stopping everything is the best thing. I know everyone is different, but I don't think I'd still play Paycore, do I? Because I'm the same, mate. I miss my horse racing. If you know what I mean. I loved my horse racing, but I knew I had to stay away. I've watched the odd race now and again. I didn't even realise it was Guineas this weekend until I saw it like come on my Twitter feed. It was another big racing weekend for me. Usually that was, and I loved it, but I can't do it anymore. I know I can't. And does it hurt? Maybe a little bit, but I know I'm better off not gambling, so to speak. So, right then, guys, exactly, SMB. I am gonna go. It's half hour. I'm gonna have 1 or 2 cans, just celebrate Derby getting into the playoffs. Hope we get there. and I hope I'm smiling next Sunday after we've beat Fulham in the first leg, and we're going into the second leg and maybe going to Wembley. So thank you very much for getting in. Thanks, Wolfie, and I'll see you again, mate. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. My name is Andy, and I'm a compulsive gambler. Last bet 14th of April 2007. Cheers, guys.